Well, it started hot, and man, that crowd sure was electric. Dun 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 dun. I'm John Renton with my review of AEW Dynamite, the 100th episode, the first of 3 straight AEW shows at the Now Arena in Chicago, Illinois, where in just a few days' time, CM Punk will return to a wrestling ring for the first time in nearly 8 years when he takes on Darby Allin at AEW All Out. And speaking of AEW All Out, even though I'm kind of meh on a couple matches, 85% of this card looks pretty goddamn good, and on paper, this could be one of their best pay-per-views in their short history. My predictions will be up sometime after this review goes up. Let me know your thoughts on this particular episode in the comments, please, because I'll have some praise, and I'm also going to have some scorn, because at times this show is pretty uneven. There were a couple moments where I was like, why is this happening? Why is this on a national television broadcast? I really don't fucking get it. So anyway, I do like how commentary talks about what you're going to see on this show. They lay it all out, just, slop the cards out, and they say, ha-ha, the ace of diamonds, and then, oh god, you got all these kings and everything, and I only got one ace, oh no, go ace, Tanahashi was wrong, no! Anyway, so we have FTR with Tully Blanchard taking on Santana and Ortiz, the return match. Would Cash's injury play a factor? That pretty brutal forearm injury they had. Woof, boy, that was really goddamn brutal when you see the footage. But FTR, they were fired up. I did like the tribute to Bobby Eaton they had with their tights. That was really nice. Rest in peace, beautiful Bobby Eaton. Santana and Ortiz as the dead presidents, with the face paint and stuff like that. And the crowd was loud as fuck. This was really good. This is one of the better tag team matches that AEW has put on, at least on TV in the last, year or so. Because it's FTR and Santana and Ortiz, when they have the right people to work with, can put on a pretty damn good match. Good double team work, the dives outside and into the barricade. I did like how Dax was making sure to protect Cash, even though he knows he's legit tough. I mean, come on, he punched that guy out that tried to, that rushed at Bret Hart, and he should have hit him a whole lot goddamn harder as far as I'm concerned. Cash kept favoring his arm and everything, but there was some nice, stuff with the buckle pad, and we're going to try to injure, Santana Ortiz's arms, but oh no, we just keep getting foiled and everything because they're fired up, and we got one guy that's injured, but he's bound, determined to make this work, and a huge lariat, and then a hot tag to Santana, the three amigos, Eddie, chance, the frog splash for 2, brainbuster for 2 on Ortiz. That's how FTR won the last time. And then we got a collision into a roll-up for 2. Oh no, it wouldn't be the only time a roll-up would be used, but it wasn't used for the finish here. Cash did get double-teamed a bit, like some kind of weird, flip out. I don't really know what the hell to call it. It wasn't a flapjack. The gory special by Cash, that was really nice. A superplex, and this was the only part of the match I didn't like. I think they kind of got flummoxed a little bit because it looked like they were going to go for, the superplex into the splash. And they just, I think they went to the wrong corner. This kind of stuff is a little bit weird, but it is what it is. Minor quibble. We got the Big Rig, the former Shatter Machine, former Goodnight Express for 2. And then we got, that second flip out, by Santana Ortiz, and they got the victory. The crowd gives them a bit of a standing ovation. That was really nice. Good tag team match. This is the kind of shit that they should open up with. And normally, Dynamite and Rampage, they open up with, well, especially Dynamite, because Rampage has only been out for a few weeks. They open up with a match, and that's always nice. Starts the show hot, and that's good. And it's a good way to start. It wasn't like, a bunch of flip-de-doo-dah shit and everything, which I know works for some people, but this was good tag team wrestling with a couple issues, but it was pretty good for what it was. And this would have belonged on pay-per-view. Then we cut to 2.0 and Daniel Garcia talking about Punk and Allin, and that they're going to make sure that match doesn't happen. And Daniel Garcia, they are bound and determined to feature Daniel Garcia. Are there matches of his I should check out? Because I don't know much about the guy. Let me know in the comments. Share the links if you want. Well, excuse me, princess. Wait, that's the wrong link. And I'll say this much. They're a good trio as far as making the most of their television. They are being featured and they are making the most of it. So, Road to the Top. No, I will not. I do not think I will. Here's Punk to a huge reaction. Are you guys sick of me yet? No! And he's just doing a great babyface promo. He's thrilled and he's going to enjoy it while it lasts. He promises that he will give them his best. And he barely gets that line out before 2.0 and Daniel Garcia attack him. And they're beating on him. And then Darby's music hits. And Darby and Sting get to the ring with all the vim and vigor of a guy that lost his skateboard and is just going to sulk. And somebody's dad that got lost on a mall walk. It took them 4 years to get to the ring. We do get a GTS, and people point out, oh, it hit him in the shoulder. Yeah, okay, but guess what? You know what? I'm going to forgive somebody that hasn't been in a wrestling ring for almost 8 goddamn years. And you know what? If he's still doing this stuff after a little bit, okay, then let's say something. But we do get a Scorpion Deathlock. Oh boy, geez, I got something to say about this here. And then a face-to-face with Darby. They've only started building this pretty much from, the Rampage when Punk showed up. And they built this well in just like 10 days. This is the kind of shit you do. This is the kind of stuff that you don't know how long you're going to have Punk. He may be there on a multi-year deal. Make the most, maximize it, because he's got to be coming at a premium price. If he's not coming at least 1.5 or 2 million a year, then I don't really know what they're doing. I don't know what he's doing, because I imagine it's a lot of money it would take to get him back into wrestling. But they're going to go with this dream match of him and Darby. You see the similarities. And Sting says to Punk, our paths never crossed until now. Don't you fucking dare give me Sting versus Punk. This might have worked in 2015 if Punk had stuck around and hadn't been sick and they hadn't put Z-Packs on him and everything. But guess what? Not now. I'm sorry. I don't think that would be a very good idea. I think Punk, Darby, and Sting teaming up as a trio after All Out would be fine. But Sting versus Punk, no. I'm sorry. That I'm not sold on that. It is what it is. Sting then says if he did say it felt good to hit the Stinger death drop on somebody. Couldn't even get his name, the name of his move right. And then says that it's going to be a hell of a match or whatever, but he's going to fist bump Darby, and then he's going to go back and he's just going to let them, fight out. Good stuff. The crowd loved it. And you know what? That's fine. This is probably the one match I'm most looking forward to, because I'm curious to see how Punk's going to do in the ring. And Darby, reckless as he is, I've seen him in multiple indie shows, and the guy works just as hard in front of 200 people as he does in front of 20,000 people. So we get a video package on Christian versus Omega. Let me say right now that the one thing I appreciate about this show, even with the quibbles I have, they're a little bit later. They did a really good job selling the pay-per-view. The video packages are tremendously well done. Though there was one line on here, and in here it was from Excalibur. For years, Kenny Omega has been known as one of the best, if not the best, wrestler in the world. Okay, sure. If people think that, that's fine. I don't, but that's fine. A series of matches with Okada and some other stuff he did in the G1 Climax 28 and even 27 were good. But I'm sorry, I'm not really going to say that he's like, oh, he's the best. There are people that want to say he's best. Well, no, it would have been 26. 26 is the one he won. The whole point is Omega is a great athlete. Do I think he's a great wrestler? No. But there are people that do, and that's fine. This was a well-done video package, though. People doing the bullet points and everything. And then we go to Shivani with a sit-down with MJF. All about All Out, and MJF is just gold. All the nicknames, the Man of 1,004 Holes, the Ayatollah Rock and Roller, all that stuff. And how Jericho's like Ali at the end of his career. He just can't stay out of the spotlight and everything. He's broken down. He's beat up. You're an addict to the spotlight. It's poetic that, how addicted you are to the spotlight. That's going to be what will basically be your undoing. It will cause your music to die. And Shivani just being disgusted by this was great. MJF is fucking tremendous. Just absolutely fucking tremendous on promos. I know he's not going to beat Jericho. I hope he does, but he's not going to. Might be tipping my hand a little bit on my predictions there. But anyway, where is my mind? It's all over Matt Hardy's fists as he attacks Orange Cassidy and is ejected before this match starts. What is the match? Jack Evans versus Orange Cassidy. Is this AEW Dark Elevation? Why is this on my Dynamite program? Why is this on a television screen? Why is this on a national broadcast? This is nothing even against Orange Cassidy, and Jack Evans is a fine athlete, but who asked for this? Who asked for this feud to continue? Who asked for this feud between Orange Cassidy and Matt Hardy? I mean, genuinely, I'm glad that Matt seems to be okay after getting his nose busted open last week, but the crowd cheered for Orange Cassidy. That was really about it. They kept doing some bad switches and everything and some comedy. And some people like the stuff with Orange Cassidy. I don't, but I recognize he's a good athlete. They had bad landing on German off the top. They did the dreaded roll-up for 3 during the break. Couldn't even time that stuff right. I mean, yeah, Perugia, you got to watch the picture-in-picture, but it's like, really? You couldn't have just done it right when they came back? Like, oh, we're back from action in 1, 2, 3. Okay. But just to do it during the break was really odd. And then we get an aftermath, or more like an aftermath, because Matt Hardy and all the goons run out, and good lord, Jurassic Express come out to a pop. Whoa, 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 whoa. Tarzan Boy is more over than about half the, well, no, not half the roster, definitely more over than the Hardy family orifice. So, then Kingston has a pre-tape. It's like, why is the DDT your kryptonite? Because, it targets your neck or whatever and stuff like that. And maybe, I'm going to take that title from you because that title basically makes you God's favorite champion or whatever. And maybe if you survive Sunday, you can go to your God's heaven. Like some really good stuff from Eddie Kingston. And then Miro basically talks about the only time he goes down is when it's on his wife in a hotel room. Because he has a hot wife. That's what he's going to keep saying. And how redemption only comes after agony. This is the word of the Reamer. I'm going to keep saying that because it's funny. But I like the fact that they just brought Miro in like this. All you had to fucking do was bring him in like this. Don't have him be goofy. Just have him be serious. It's not that he can't be goofy on his Twitch. And he can do whatever the hell he wants. But this is what they needed to do from the beginning. This is the Miro / Rusev / Brute that everybody knew he could be. And now he's able to be unleashed. This is good stuff. And all they had to do was bring him in like this. They're really having to try hard to polish the stink off. And Kingston and Miro could be pretty goddamn good. At least I hope so. And I think the feud's going to go on after AEW All Out. I don't think that's going to be the end. So, we get a video package on Moxley versus Kojima. Serious stuff and everything. And that was good. I don't know why, that and the Kingston Miro pre-tape followed the joke comedy that was Jack Evans and Orange Cassidy being featured way too long on AEW programming, at least on, cable TV, and also Matt Hardy thinking that he still fucking matters in a wrestling ring in 2021. JR seemed very emotional. I hope JR is all right. I don't know why they didn't have JR do the sit-down interview, but then again, it's because, in my opinion, I would have had JR talk to MJF, and I would have had Shivani talk to Jericho. But I get why they had JR do this. I just think he's better in a sit-down format. Jericho's out there, you are insurrection personified. No, I'm not going to forget that. And how his journey started 20 years ago, his main event journey, and that JR was the one that hired him. JR asked why you would put your career on the line, why you would, risk all this. MJF, you're a piece of shit. He talks about the 3 victories and goes over the dates and everything, and these dates are etched in his head. Another date that should be etched in Jericho's head is January 6, 2021. Oh, right, only his wife and mother-in-law. They were just visiting. They weren't going to be part of the attempts and everything, and Jericho still hasn't fucking answered for that, with his wife first name, lots of numbers and everything, and his stupid mother-in-law, and I'm not going to apologize for that, because I'm going to hold people accountable for that goddamn shit. But anyway, he basically talks about, he's got to beat MJF. It's like if he doesn't, he could win more championships, he could do all this stuff, but it's gonna hang over his head. He's got to beat MJF. And if you want me out of this ring, you're going to have to be your very best, and you can't get me out of this ring and everything because I'm Chris Jericho, damn it. Then we get a video package on Darby and Punk, and well, Darby says that Punk said if he was 15 years old, I would be his favorite wrestler. Well, when I was 15, CM Punk was my favorite wrestler. And then I got into wrestling 7 years ago, and Punk had left. And he says, like, I need to beat, I'm going to beat Punk in Chicago, or I'm going to die trying. And that was good. That was good stuff from Darby. I'm sold on this. What I'm not sold on is the next match. Brian Cage, the man from Chico, Santana, California, a.k.a. the Jesse Ventura of town, attacks Will Hobbs while Hook runs off because that hair is fucking ridiculous. How does he get that hair through customs? How does he get that hair through a goddamn doorway? It's like the hair is trying to fly off and everything. Just, whoa. So anyway, it's like bad hair. Wait, no, the hair stay attached to your head. If you've seen bad hair, you know what I'm talking about. Cage and Hobbs, it was a big man battle. Taz joins commentary. So Cage attacks at first. Hobbs gloms him for a while, and there was some awkward stuff. Now, there was some good stuff a little bit later. Hobbs has a way to go, but he's got potential. Cage is about what he is. At times he does spectacular stuff. Other times he's just kind of there. The superplex spot where he lifted Hobbs off the ropes, over the ropes, that was impressive. some very good strength. And then Hook does a distraction. Oh my God, Hook and his weird hair distracts everybody. And they do kind of the same thing where it gets, there's a belt shot and everything, except Hobbs was doing the belt shot last time. But Starks hits him with the belt, and Town Business, a slam, 1, 2, 3, and that's it. So, okay, Cage loses to Hobbs. I assume they're going to build up at one point where Starks is going to hopefully beat Cage and not drop the title back to him. The FTW Championship, by the way, is meaningless. There's just no reason to continue to bring these championships in, especially the title didn't mean anything even when it was in ECW, when ECW was doing well. So, Malachi Black talks about Lee Johnson. He was giving him 7 days to atone, and then basically says that he will put coins on his eyes and he will send him to Hades with a way to pay the ferryman. I believe it was the boatman, but the ferryman is actually what it is. Cool stuff. He's well spoken. Maybe I just fear they're gonna give Cody his win back. Anyway, QT and the Factory are suddenly there in the ring. They call out Paul White, and this is bullshit, complete bullshit. Paul White fights everybody off, and then the Gun Club shows up, and they get the chair from QT and everything, and then Billy Gunn hits him in the hip. Why wouldn't he? Why not try to recreate? Oh, there's always a plan B. Who? I think a giant bee needs to come down and sting whoever came up with this goddamn angle, because who wants to see QT versus Paul White? Who wants to see QT Marshall in any kind of meaningful feud? It's not that he's a bad worker. He's just uninteresting. And I'm sorry, this is the best you can do with Paul White for his comeback match, his first match in AEW. Okay, whatever. This will be the match that I'm probably going to get the least amount of time to on, during my AEW All Out review. And yeah, QT hit a cutter on Paul White while he was cinched up and everything, pretty much indicating QT somehow going to beat Paul White, or Paul White beats him in 30 seconds, and it's not going to mean anything anyway. QT's not going to matter. Paul White beating him, it's a feud that doesn't fucking matter. I'm sorry. Doesn't need to happen. Could happen on Dynamite. What the fuck? So we get a pre-tape with Britt, and good Lord, Jamie, my goodness, she's beautiful. We're gonna, add some star power to the Battle Royal, which is now on the main show, because apparently Pac and Andrade was removed from the card due to travel restrictions, apparently, or travel issues, possibly on Pac's part. That's really hard to say, or Andrade. I don't really know. And that match, while I was looking forward to as far as work rate, I was not very interested in that, and they would also write themselves into a corner. Pac should get the win, but Andrade, since it would be his first pay-per-view, would have to get the victory. So it was what it was. Who knows, they could suddenly put it back on by the time I'm done cutting this review. But I was under the impression they cut it due to travel restrictions. So she says a free agent has signed a new deal with AEW. Me. So I'm going to be around here for a long time. Watch this be her way of dropping little seeds that Adam Cole, Bay, will be signing with AEW. Because apparently he's out of WWE. We get Penelope Ford with the Bunny versus Ty Conte, and oh boy, I have praised Penelope in the past and said that Penelope has tried. This wasn't good. She did hit a nice Indian Deathlock that got immediately reversed, and the match was not good. It wasn't. Ty Conte is pretty skilled. The Bunny's just not good in the ring. She's just not. I mean, and she was just there to do distractions and stuff like that, but we get the most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling. Surprise, roll up 1, 2, 3, and oh my God, there's an aftermath. They're beating her down and everything. Ty Conte gets a victory. Suddenly, Dark Order music hits. What the fuck? It's Anna Jay. Anna Jay has returned. By God, Anna Jay has returned. Good for her. She suffered that shoulder injury. She's back. She's healthy and everything. She saves Ty Conte, sort of. And even though the timing was bad, and she's in the Battle Royal. Tony Khan immediately announces that through Excalibur's ear. Just like a worm, just like doing this and everything. And announce it. So anyway, backstage to Marvez and Thunder Rosa, who barely gets any words out, and then Jade and Nyla Rose show up, along with the useless Vicky Guerrero and Mark, not Archer Sterling. And Thunder Rosa's like, well, I'm going to go out swinging. And Jade needs every professional to work with her to help her. She has the poise, and she's fine for a minute working with enhancement talents. But if Thunder Rosa is as much of a magician as you can get, I hope she can get something out of Jade if they try to do something singles program with them. But I don't know. But I think it's just a way to get them, all ready for the Battle Royal. And so, yeah, this wasn't very good. And Rampage is going to be Punk being there live. Miro speaking. Darby versus Daniel Garcia. Malachi Black versus Lee Johnson. Statlander versus Hayter and Rebel in a handicap match. Gee, I wonder if Rebel's going to take the pin. My goodness, Jamie is freaking beautiful. Dynamite in Cincy. It's going to be Moxley's homecoming and the all-out card talk. Why is the cage hanging above the ring? Gee, I smell shenanigans. Okay, so, Tarzan Boy, whoa. Jurassic Express with the useless, embarrassing midget. With the Lucha Bros, along with Alex, took on the Bucks and the Good Brothers. Home of the Good Brothers, may we take your order. And Brandon Cutler. And also Nakamura was there. Nakazawa. He wishes he was Nakamura. He wishes he was Nakamura's fucking pinky toe. That goddamn useless dweeb. He doesn't fucking deserve to be there. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Nakazawa shows up later. All this blended together because once Callis joined commentary, that's it. His invisible hands, they can just fuck right. He can get those invisible hands chopped right off on camera for all I care. For all he's done to the women and probably has done in AEW. And they're just gonna look the other way. Don Callis is a piece of shit, and when he's removed from wrestling for good, he's not gonna be missed. It was a mess. It was a fucking mess. It was the usual shit because it was just the elite, the elite, and this was supposed to hype up the Bucks versus Lucha Bros, and Jungle Boy got everybody just did dives. Everybody just did a whole bunch of dives. There was one point where I think it was Luchasaurus. He chokeslammed one of the Bucks right in, did a moonsault and everything. Made absolutely no goddamn sense. And they hit the Meltzer driver on Phoenix for 3. So, okay, thanks for coming, Lucha Bros. Even though this maybe indicates they're going to win on Sunday. What in the 70s Drug Lord was, Omega wearing? What in the fuck was he wearing? It was all dyed blue, purplish hair. I don't know what the fuck that was about. So, yeah, take care of the dinosaur. They hit a dragon killer rather, through the table. And Christian comes down, he gets knocked down, and it turns out that Omega has control. He controls the horizontal and the vertical, and also the cage, and has the key for the controls. Here's the question. Who back there is controlling the goddamn thing if he has the key? Who's in cahoots? So they beat him down. This is 90 seconds left. He says, this is so stupid. They just beat each other. They're trying to make it like the NWO beat them down, and guess what? It wasn't very fucking good. Because the NWO, at its worst, is better than the Elite. So that's all I really have to say about that. This was stupid. Like, Cutler's doing the cold spray and everything and stuff like that, and it's dumb. It's really fucking dumb. See, I like some of this show, but as far as a go-home show, it's like, okay, you want to get me interested in Omega versus Christian, not really going to work. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.